Hey everybody, how's it going? I hope you're all having a lovely early afternoon. Today I'd like to discuss a lot of what I believe were unfounded and undeserved congratulations that I was receiving yesterday that confused me. I had people emailing me, calling, saying, "Oh, congratulations on getting that right to repair law passed." And I thought, "Oh?" And then somebody was like, "No, no, 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 no. I'm sorry, I got it wrong. Congratulations on the new executive order Biden signed yesterday." And I went, "Oh." I mean, I keep track of this stuff pretty closely, and I was very curious. And they said, "Oh yeah, his tweet," and it's his tweet, which is referring to an executive order that was signed 1 year ago. So the reason I want to bring this up today, and the point that I really want to drive home, we have not won anything yet. I just want to be clear and honest here, and I appreciate the pats in the back and all that, but I just don't want people to get the wrong idea. So Joe Biden tweeted something yesterday, and to be clear, when a president, whether Trump or Biden, tweets something, I tend to assume that it was done on the toilet and that they forget about it immediately thereafter, unless it turns into actual policy. It says when you own a product, you should be able to repair it yourself. That's why I included support for the right to repair in my executive order. Now, there are a couple of really things I think I need to clear the air here with. Maybe perhaps just this is an issue because I'm really bad with PR. I started discussing this on Twitter. When you just looked at some of the responses to this, one person said, and I quote, "Apple already did that." And another person said, "Nope, they have. I'm anti-Apple, but I read about it a while ago," and they linked to an article on this particular program over here. Now, as I've gone over in some of my videos, many of my videos actually, the program that he's referring to hasn't actually come out yet. So when it comes to MacBooks, this program is not going to really even show up until the end of this year. But more importantly, we don't actually have any details in this program yet. The only thing we know about this program is that it is very much so based on the IRP program, which, as I've gone over on this channel in incredible detail, in my opinion, is a useless PR stunt. There are many parts that you don't get access to, and I'll include all of this down below. It was difficult to get this information because people who join this program sign a non-disclosure agreement where they most likely get in severe trouble if they talk to people like me. They're not able to get access to many parts. You can't get access to a charge port for a phone. You can't get access to a lot of the parts that you need to fix MacBooks. You can't get chips. You can't get schematics. You can't get board views. You can't get most of what it is that we use to do our job. And I went over that in this video and also in this shorter video. There were people that actually called me trying to figure out what they should do. Should they go public? They're really aggravated at this, but they're afraid of getting in trouble. And I shared some of that in this video here. This program is, in my opinion, a giant PR stunt. It does not help a repair shop like mine be able to offer repair services to somebody like you in any way, shape, or form. The new program that they've released hasn't even come out yet. It's not going to come out for a year. And people are saying simply because they released an article or one-page thing that said, "We're going to support this," based on a program that we already know doesn't work, that was cited in that executive order as not working by Tim Wu, that we've won. The average person believes that we have won. And I think it is important to really drive home the point of just three separate things here. The first is that what Biden tweeted is an executive order that he signed last year. So this was, again, I covered this in July when it happened, but this is old news. The second is that this executive order it's not a law. It's an executive order asking the FTC to look into right to repair and potentially create rules. Now, I did want to make things a little bit easier, and admittedly, I got ahead of myself many, many months before this was even announced. I had been working with an antitrust attorney to draft a 50 to 70 page white paper that really just takes all the things I talk about in this channel, all the specific citations, the specific issues, the specific complaints we have, and convert that into legal speak, the specific complaints we have, and convert that into legal speak. Here are the statutes that are being broken. Here are the things that are being done wrong. Here are the ways this has been addressed in the past, and so on and so forth, so that the agencies that are being tasked in this executive order with trying to solve the problem, rather than having to start from scratch, they would already have a lot of their legwork done for them. Because admittedly, there was a lot of stuff in that executive order other than right to repair, and I understand if they don't have time to deal with all of it. So I got started with that, and I have not exactly gotten as much feedback on that as I had hoped. And I've also tried to meet with legislators that are from other countries. So here. The CEO of Apple, Tim Cook, was meeting the EU's competition chief, and I did a video saying, make this happen. If she's in New York and Tim Cook is in New York, I'd love to be in on that meeting. I actually did get a response from her on Twitter, which was really, really cool. I got, again, minute and 40 seconds of one of the top EU regulators, mentioning me by name. Was really cool. Admittedly, I don't know how to actually email them personally, but I said I have a 70-page white paper that I would love to show you. If anybody knows how to actually get in contact with her personally, that would be great, because again, I would love to share that white paper with her in a confidential fashion. And just wanted to be clear here that I haven't won anything yet. Again, one of the things that's really important here, and I'm noticing it, is winning the PR battle. The PR battle is actually as important as the legislative battle. This is a thread that I did on Twitter. I very rarely, if ever, use Twitter because it rots your brain, in my opinion. I said in response to someone, I mean no disrespect, but this is the power of PR. This program won't announce availability of MacBook parts until the end of 2022, and it's based on the program that denies access to chips, schematics, board views, LCD cells by itself, keyboards by itself, and so on. I have a lesson in PR to learn from this. Apple took a contentious issue that's affected my customers and I for over a decade and swept it under the rug with a single press release, all without any commitment or plan to solve the problem. I don't blame most people who think the issue has been solved. Most Americans lead busy lives. They can't keep up with everything, particularly issues that only have peripheral interest to them and no immediate repercussions. I blame myself for not being able to do basic PR. So what I would ask of all of you who are watching this, who are maybe better at public relations than I am, who may be better with getting a message out than I am, how can I avoid the waters being muddied to the point where your average, ordinary, everyday person, or even people like Mark, who again, these are smart people that just may not follow this issue very much, from believing that this is already done because a couple of blogs covered a press release that Apple did on a program that doesn't even exist yet, that's based on a program that doesn't work. How do we ensure that the message is out there that we haven't just won yet? Because that's the thing. If people think that we won, there may be this impression of, well, they already got what they wanted. Why do they care? Why should I support this? Why should I bother? We already did this. And that was part of the messaging that was really important to overcome in the ballot initiative for right to repair in Massachusetts for automotive in 2020. So a big thing that they had to overcome when they were polling people was a lot of people are going to think, wait a second, we already did this in 2012. What are we doing in 2020? In 2012, that had excluded telematics, and now for the future, we're dealing with the fact that a lot of automotive manufacturers may be restricting diagnostic tools to telematics or wireless protocols, which would be a loophole around the original bill. So it's really important to craft messaging that lets people know we have this, but we're not actually done yet. We're not even close to done yet. And I think that something that I have completely failed to do is craft proper messaging that allows people to know exactly where we are in this process. Where we are in this process is that Joe Biden issued an executive order that asked the FTC to look into things and create rules, and the FTC had released a paper that went over all of the industry's claims on right to repair and then responded to them with evidence that really made it clear that that most of the industry lobbyists were full of shit, for lack of a better way to phrase it. They phrased it slightly more politely in their paper, but it said that most of these claims on security and safety really don't have any evidence. And if anything, if you are concerned about safety, then you should probably be releasing the manual so that people can do the repairs properly. So that's what we have so far. But the FTC would still have to then create rules. And if they do not have the time or the resources or the ability to create rules, which, I gave them about 70 pages, and hopefully that they read through it at some point. But besides that, we also need to actually get state legislatures involved. The FTC is probably not going to do something just like that. They're busy with a lot of other things. Now, when it comes to state legislatures, many of these state legislatures will say, well, like Joel Steckes in Maine said this 2 years ago. He said, well, has the Attorney General asked about this? Has the Attorney General stated this is a problem? Do you have any evidence of this being an issue that's on the record? And in the past, it's been crickets. But now we can say, There's an executive order, there's the FTC looking into this, and so on and so forth. So if you decide to pass a law, there will be some wind beneath your wings. And I will spare you the singing that I did yesterday on my live stream at the restaurant when I was discussing this. So that's where we are now. But this is still the very, very, very beginning of what is going to be a very long battle. And I wanted to say thank you very much to all of you who have been involved. Thank you so much to all of you who have let your friends and your family members and your coworkers know why this is an issue. But above all, thank you to every single one of you that has made repair matter to somebody that you know in your own life. If your friend had an issue with something and he was going to pay to replace it, and you were able to fix it or show him how he could fix it and save money, you have now gotten somebody who is now hooked on repair. If you teach somebody how to add 10 or 20 or 40 or $80,000 a year to their salary by teaching them how to do repairs that have real market viability that they didn't know how to do before, you've gotten somebody hooked on repair. That matters. Getting people to actually find what we do fun and exciting is in the long term how we are going to win, how we are going to shift the culture towards a culture that values personal property, that values freedom, that values being able to work on your own stuff again. And that's going to be the real win. And when that happens, it'll be because of all of you. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And let me know how you think that we and myself, all of us really, can do better messaging so that most normal people don't just believe, well, there's a tweet and Apple did a press release, so I guess those guys got what they wanted, right? When that's so far from being the case for so many industries, so many businesses, and so many people. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye now.